It's Chompy. I just wanted to quickly dedicate this episode to Mala, Sam's cat, who actually passed away between when we recorded this and when I'm posting it. Losing a pet is one of the hardest things, and I've been just really feeling for Sam as he's been going through this the past couple of weeks, so just keep him and Mala in your thoughts. This is a very silly episode. This is a very silly show. But I think that cats are very special beings and we have special relationships with them. And Sam is one of those people who understands that more than a lot of people. I never got to meet Mala, unfortunately. But from everything Sam says about her, she was an amazing cat. And I know that she is having a blast with Jennifer Hudson in the Heaviside Layer now. So just wanted to dedicate this episode to Mala and enjoy.
Ew, I hate that James Corden comes up as the number one billed person on this project.
No, I know.
That's upsetting.
But it is, I think, in alphabetical order.
Oh.
Except for Francesca Hayward, because she's introducing.
Oh. Well, that makes me feel better.
Welcome to PodCats 2019. I'm your host, Chompy, and on this show, I'm going to watch Cats 2019 every week with a guest and talk about it. Because Cats is the only thing that makes me happy, and the world is a mess, and we need to talk about cats. And today, my guest is Sam Wineman. Hi, Sam.
Hello, friend. Happy Cats.
This has been such a long time coming.
I know.
We've seen Cats. How many times have we seen Cats together?
Oh my God, I don't even know. Because I've seen
I don't know either.
8 times in theaters, and I think several of them are with you.
Yeah, at least 3. I feel like
maybe definitely.
2 or 3. Yeah, so we just saw a Rowdy Cats a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
I did watch it again today for the podcast. I was like, I could count that we watched it a couple weeks ago, but like I want to be. Every time I watch Cats, I'm like energized to talk about it again.
It's important. It's important. It's important to come in fresh, and like. I just realized, no, it was 8 Rowdy screenings, 1 regular screening. And then, of course, I've seen it like 100 times at home because this is a film that, really deserves to be seen every day.
Yeah. No, I have the Blu-ray. It is currently on Amazon Prime with ads. So that was how I watched it today. Yes, it is free on Amazon Prime. You just have to watch a couple ads that are for pet food. There's one that is right. I don't know how they time these or like what they like how they pick the ads, but like right when the dog comes in, there's an ad for dog food. And like all of the other ones are like cat food related or like taking care of it, but like that one specifically was like the dog starts barking and then it's like Beneful. I was like, oh my God,
somebody thought that through.
Yeah, no, someone put a lot of thought into it, just like this entire movie.
Have you seen 37 Meters Down Part 2 with Sylvester Stallone's daughter?
No.
So this movie's bad, right? But like I was so obsessed with seeing it because I saw it in theaters and it was so I had to see it right away and rent it for all my friends at movie night. And so I downloaded the only available version and it was like this Chinese bootleg and there was this piñata that dropped down like every so often. But there was an art to it. Like the piñata came down at the most explosive moments and like the climax of the film, like the piñata splits through the shark and it's like all the jackpot stuff comes out and it's like slots. Da, da, da. And anyways, there is an art to the bootleg. There is an art to the Amazon Prime ad. I believe in this.
Wow. Okay, so speaking of, okay, wait, no, I want to do the first time you saw Cats. Like, what were your initial reactions? Do you remember where you saw it the first time?
Yeah, I went out opening night. Like, I mean, technically Thursday, because it was like the Thursday before, like night before with all my friends. And we were there with people who were definitely, I think, musical theater people, a lot of an older crowd. And we were getting our life watching this movie. I mean, it was like, we were having a blast and the people around us definitely weren't having the same reaction. So it was like, I mean, there were an older couple walked out about halfway through the movie. People were audibly groaning. And I think like, I don't know what movie they thought they were going to see, but it's definitely Cats.
Right. What were you expecting when you went in?
I mean, to be real, I think I was expecting something that was this, but not as good. I mean, like, Because, okay, I have seen Cats, like the stage production, right?
The musical.
I was like lucky enough to have seen it on Broadway, and I had a friend who dated one of the Cats. And
Oh
so
my God.
they took me backstage and I got to see all the costumes up close and
Oh my
God. It was amazing. And so like when I had seen it, like I'd been listening to it, like the soundtrack since I was a kid. So it was like I knew it, but I didn't know how it all came together. And watching it on stage at the very end, when they decide on the cat to send to the Heaviside Layer, she goes up in a giant tire that lights up like a UFO. And it's very like mystical, and you're like, oh wow, they're really right about this, right? So my reaction, my gut reaction watching the movie at the end, when she goes up in like a hot air balloon with candles, and it's very real, it's like, oh no.
Oh no, they really did it.
This is a death cult.
This wasn't a metaphor. This was the real, like, they killed this cat. Die tonight.
She's dead. I was floored. Alyssa, it was like, I mean, so as a horror fan, I was like, oh my God, this is a horror musical. So like, I went in expecting to like have a good time, maybe make fun of some cats, sing along to a song or two and go home, call it a day. That ending, no UFO, I'm in. I am sold. We are watching.
It changed the realness of it.
And then in my next viewing, it's like I got to watch it as a cat entering a death cult, Victoria, that we follow through as they try and indoctrinate her into what they believe. And it is, honestly, it gives it an entirely different meaning.
And I love watching it with that reading because it makes it so much more intense and strange, and
it's hard to see it any other way.
I see it as a queer horror film, and I think you might have been the first person to say that. I was like, oh my God, you're right.
I believe that it is. I truly do.
Okay, so tell me about Rowdy Cats. You have some things that we shout, and I think you made up a lot of the things that we shout. Yeah. You made up Kill Her, and like, what are the other ones?
Okay, so I will say, because it's a death cult and because they're all competing to be killed, right, at the end, that's why we shout Kill Her whenever they perform really well. It's like, oh, that song, that was great. Kill Her.
Kill Her.
And I will say it actually came from April Wolf, who wrote the Black Christmas remake. We went to see it at one of the Rowdy screenings, and she was the first to shout it. And we were just so on board, and the whole audience just kind of embraced it. So now every time we go back, that's why the Kill Her thing.
Yes. Yep. Oh my God. I love that.
Also, in the very beginning, they throw Victoria out like she's inside of a bag. So when she emerges, it's really fun to be like, who let the cat out of the bag? I mean, there are things that I think Rowdy Cats does. Like you're supposed to throw cockroaches, I think, when you see the cockroaches. That's fine. I personally like to let out a blood-curdling scream when I see the mouse's faces in the scene with the mice, and then another one when I see the cockroaches, because that computer animation is so jarring and horrific. It is. And so, just like the loudest scream that you possibly can.
And when Jenny Anydots unzips, isn't everyone screaming?
Yes, that's the other scream. Okay, so hold up. Guys, so Jenny Anydots unzips her skin and comes out of it, revealing that she has another skin underneath. Amazing. My best friend came to a Rowdy Cat screening, and they do this competition where you're supposed to meow. And she like went up and meowed, and she was dressed as Jenny Anydots, and she unzipped, and underneath was a muscle suit. Like a skin. It was like we just saw Jenny Anydots' guts. It was amazing. Oh
my God, that's incredible.
So now, whenever I see
that's
Jenny,
like a Simpsons joke. I feel like, where you unzip and it's like her muscles under.
Yeah, shout out to Kathy Barker for that. And so because of that, it was like an extension of our joke, which is where every time she unzips, we scream like we're horrified that she's slipping out of her own skin.
Because it's an insane thing to do. Insane move by Jenny Anydots. And no one reacts to it. No one, we never come back. There's so many things that happen and then no one reacts or comes back to it. And like McCavity is like, meowing,
oh yeah,
sweeping people away. Like freaking Skimble gets swept away and then we just move on.
I mean, that's a callback too. Like, so when Skimble starts to tap dance, we all kind of like Yes, Skimble. Like work. Like it's like we
Do
kind
it,
of like
do it.
Yeah, it's like
Oh, don't do it. Don't do it to him,
you're
Skimble.
teasing. Oh, come on, give it to me. Come on, Skimble. Like it's like
he's
we
just
kind of
tapping so slow.
cat call him, but also
Yeah.
give it a little bit of ballroom. Like it's whatever. But we just get really rowdy with Skimble until he finally gives it to us.
And then he goes too hard, and then he goes off and he gets McCavitied.
Yeah,
But
he went
then
too fast.
everyone sees him disappear. And then same with most of the other ones, people see them disappear, but then they're just like,
gotta keep
that's
competing.
fine until old Dude, and then they're like, oh no, we gotta get old Dude back.
Can you imagine being any of the cats that disappeared that nobody wanted back?
No,
oh my god, it seemed like they all really like Skimble. But only
like,
Do? Oh,
yeah,
so
no,
when old Dude's on screen, old Do? Because
Dude,
they call her old Dude, and I think it's so fratty, so we just
old Dude.
Old Dude?
There's a bunch of parts where you meow.
When do you meow? When do you like to meow?
I think, well, there's like, I'm trying to remember, there's like a couple parts where there's meowing. Definitely doing Rum Tum Tugger when he's like singing into the foot and all the girl cats are like, ah, that's when meow, 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 meow.
Yes.
Everyone's going crazy.
Yes. Totally.
Rum Tum Tugger is doing his thing. And then, yeah, when they're all performing sometime near the end, there's another part where everyone on screen is meowing, and it just feels right to meow along.
When Rum Tum Tugger, when James Corden's cat drops in on Rum Tum Tugger's threesome, I think it's always really fun to go ow and draw attention to the fact that it's definitely a threesome, because it's like a blink if you miss it moment. Blink and
I
you miss it.
don't think I've ever picked up on that.
Yeah, he's like got a cat under each arm and they're drinking.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, and then James
of course,
Corden
Rum Tum Tugger.
and then like James Corden just kind of guzzles that phallic like champagne bottle, and then is like, "Thanks,
God.
Tugger," and it's like, "What did I just see?"
Yeah. Okay, so you have a cordonless cut. Everyone knows about butthole cut.
The butthole cut, guys. Enough of the butthole cut. It's all about the cordonless cut.
It's all about the cordonless cut.
Because, I'll be real. I've been a part of many a theater that boos James Corden when he appears.
Oh, yeah. So another thing that I yell is whenever James Corden is on screen, and when Jenny Any Dots is doing just bad jokes. I'm just yelling, cut this.
My friend Brent always shouts, fast forward.
Fast forward.
It is. So, I started cutting. One day I just was like, what if I cut James Corden's like musical number out of it and then just run that? And then I just kept going. It's like, well, what if I cut him out of this scene? What if I just, every time we cut to him, the movie just keeps going? Him and Jenny Any Dots, Rebel Wilson.
Rebel Wilson. Yeah, I don't know why I was blanking on her name.
I feel like they betrayed the cats community by immediately coming out and making a joke on TV at an award show about like the movie being bad when they are the two worst parts of it. And so it was like,
well, and they are the worst parts because I feel that they don't buy into the Cats universe. And like they're the two most outside of it, and like they're making jokes as if they're not part of it. It's
right.
Like,
and
sir and ma'am, you are cats, please.
And having them like immediately badmouth it was like, this is gross. And it makes me less patient with their scenes and all of the fat phobic jokes and the homophobic performance by James Corden, because it's like, it does that whole Disney thing. You know how like at the end of every Disney movie now, there's like one like flash reveal that there's a queer character. It's like, oh wow, that character has a husband, maybe. Yeah. Right?
Maybe.
It's like that moment. So James like throws his arm around another cat or whatever, and it's like, oh, they're supposed to be boyfriends or husbands or whatever. Fine. But like that actually shades all of his performance throughout the film as something icky. Because before it felt really gay facey. Like he's just doing this like what a straight man imagines a flamboyant performance looks like. And now that it's like textual, it's like, oh well fuck. Now when I go back and see that scene, it makes me feel uncomfortable the whole time. So here's the solution. Cut him out.
Cordless cut.
Get rid of him.
So how difficult is it pretty easy to like cut around him and get him out? Or no? Okay.
I guess it's because I hate him so much. I thought there was so much less of him because I'm just always wishing he's gone. Turns out there's a lot of him.
Bummer,
but listen,
bummer.
worth it.
Worth it.
Yeah.
So how far along in the cordless cut are you?
I'm 3/4 in. I'm almost done.
Okay.
I just have to get like basically the third act. And there's
great.
less of him. This is where it gets tricky because, as you know, James Corden is heavily a part of that weird barge scene. Part of me just wants to get rid of that altogether. Why are we at the barge?
Yeah, no, the barge scene is also just very out of place. Yeah, everything that's like out of like Cat's universe where they're like all together, it like is just like very strange. And
here's the thing. You asked what my reaction was like night one, and I do remember feeling this. Like I had this conversation, which was like, that was weirder than what I expected in some ways. But because Cats is so weird, I also see that the director really tried to give it a fresh enough take that people would be interested, and took a different enough approach that like it would make sense of a stage show that doesn't really make sense. But
our boy Tom Hooper is the director of Cats. Our boy Tom Hooper, who did not know what catnip was.
Wait, what?
At the time of filming. Did you not know this?
No.
He didn't know what catnip was, and I forget who explained it to him, but that's why people say the catnip scene is so strange, because he literally didn't know what it was or how it worked.
Yeah, I love that. Like, I give my cat catnip, and she's like, it's like I just gave her a bump of Coke. But like, you know, he sprinkles catnip over everybody, and they get sleepy.
Well, they're like,
or she, sorry, Bumble.
Taylor Swift cat.
Taylor Swift
I only call her Taylor Swift cat.
Taylor Swift cat sprinkles it.
But yeah, they all like, I don't even know how to describe it. Because yeah, they like go crazy for a second, but then they get all sleepy and like
makes them drunk
almost.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, actual catnip makes my cats go crazy. And yeah, they gave out catnip at Rowdy Cats, and
it was good catnip. It was like, really good because I brought that catnip home, and my cat doesn't always react. Oh, she loved. So guys, highly recommend the Rowdy Cats catnip.
Whatever
at Alamo
they got
Drafthouse
is good stuff, because my cats dug it out of my purse before I even gave it to them. They just they smelled it and sought it out, and I was like, damn.
I love that.
And then they ripped open the bag. Oh my god, my phone background is Scully with the catnip right now, because she just like went totally nuts and is covered in it.
I also think we should give a shout out to Rachel Walker at Alamo Drafthouse, or formerly there. She doesn't work there anymore, but she was the one that brought Rowdy Cats to everybody. And she's the one that kind of like invented all this shit. And during the pandemic, she's on to other things now. But like, if it weren't for her and like advocating for this and planning such cool fucking Cats parties, we would not have Rowdy Cats as we know.
Icon. No, true. Like, Rowdy Cat before, oh my god, pre-pandemic, like this movie came out pre-pan. There was like a few Rowdy Cats and then like it all was at this. I feel like this movie could have been a cult classic had the pandemic not happened, and like the pandemic just like interrupted what was like fastly like rapidly becoming like a Rocky Horror style. Like,
I agree. It had a momentum that felt unstoppable. And it felt like its place in the cult movie canon was inevitable.
Yeah.
And
I went to an AMC screening, and that was I don't know if it seemed like everyone was drunk and high. Perfect. And like everyone was screaming.
It's
and,
rowdy
like, on
even
board.
when it's not rowdy.
And
at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I also like when, did you hear about the Gentle Minions?
No.
Oh my god. All of the teens who are getting dressed up in suits and ties to go see the new Minions movie, and they're calling it Gentle Minions, but then they're going
That's adorable.
Wild in the theaters and like yelling, throwing bananas, like dancing in front of the screen, like doing crazy stuff. And so there's been like some movie theaters that are like, if you are dressed in formal attire, you will not be admitted to Minions Rise of Gru.
Oh wow.
So there was like some theaters who were like, we need to put a stop to these wild teens and their suits.
It's amazing.
And they're rolling like 20 deep, 40 kids deep, and all like.
I love that. Now I want to go see one with those people, because like
I'm obsessed.
You know, you work in film. It's like in our industry we hear all the time. It's like, well, how do you compete with Marvel when it comes to theatrical releases? And it's like, I don't know, with something like that has a cult following in that way, with something that attracts people both genuinely and ironically, it's like that's kind of the winning ticket. Like Cats stayed, it was like considered a flop, but yet it stayed in theaters and screened at so many places for so long because people kept showing up. The longevity of that film could have been forever. And like, I hate the meme that emerged, which was like blaming, like, the pandemic
made the pandemic happen.
Yes. It's just like, first off, so boring. Second, don't turn this into something that sucks.
Yeah. Touch some grass and enjoy cats. Gee, like,
just have a good time.
I don't have time. Truly, I don't have time for people who like can't get themselves to enjoy things and like have to have this layer of like, I hate that. I can't like that because it's bad. This cinematic
that's my biggest
so
problem
much
with
more
horror
to
movies.
it.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
Somebody was trying to, I think, low-key insult me once by telling me he believed that I was predisposed to like a film where he comes in skeptically, and it's like, you know what? Yeah, because I love movies. Like, what are you doing working here if you don't love movies?
I am inclined to enjoy myself when possible, and yeah, I love going to the movies. Why wouldn't I go and being like, I'm going to have a fun time here?
Why wouldn't I find the access point that gives me joy?
Right, exactly. So if Cats is a queer horror film to me, then it fucking is, and it's wonderful. And if you can't get on board with that, like, I'm sorry that you don't have as much fun with this as I do, because I'm having a great time.
I do think it's a movie that benefits from an audience, like seeing it with friends and seeing it with people who are ready to have a good time, because I always leave feeling so invigorated, and it's because of the experience of interacting with the film. I really do think, like, on paper, I mean, just sitting down and watching it, it's fun, but like, it's still just a musical. It's a string of songs put together with a loose plot. But like with your friends, it's like, it's an experience.
And yeah, as a stage show, it was obviously meant to be seen by a crowd all at once. So
yeah,
seeing it, with a theater full of people or a room full of people, just like, it feels like the way it was meant to be watched.
Well, and interestingly, the stage show, what made it so popular was it was innovative with audience interaction. So like the cats would come and crawl down the aisles and would like do things like sit in chairs, and people would be like, it was like part of the fascination of going to see Cats and why it was so immensely popular with families was like, these cats were up close and in your face, and they're doing things that are unexpected. They're doing tricks in the aisles. And like, it was a form of participation that wasn't really happening at that moment in Broadway. And so it's like, in a sense, right? Like what we've done with the Cats screenings in its participatory manner is actually very in line with the roots of Cats itself.
Yeah, no, I love that. Well, I was going to ask you something else now. Okay, so who's your favorite cat?
Mr. Mistoffelees.
Yes, we haven't talked about him yet. Tell me why he's your favorite. Tell me all about him.
It's tough because like, I came in biased already. Mr. Mistoffelees was like my favorite song when I was a kid. I love that it's just like, it's a catchy ass tune, and he's a magician, and I don't normally like magicians, but like, he's a bad magician, so it's charming, you know. And it's like coming in and seeing Mistoffelees on screen and realizing he was the hottest cat. I was like, guys, here's the thing. The actor out of Cat, fine, he's fine. He's a handsome guy. That actor as Mistoffelees. Am I a furry? Like, I'm like, I am so attracted.
Not a furry.
I'm not a furry, because also Jason Derulo in this film.
Oh my god, yeah, no, I think Jason Derulo.
He's like, hot, period. Yeah, but Jason Derulo as this cat can get it.
Super hot. McCavity, Idris Elba, hot as a person, not hot as a cat.
Naked as a cat. I don't know why he feels like the most naked cat.
They like gave him this like, they tried to like give him this like thick or like slick appearance, but he's too thick of a person that it's like, I feel like I shouldn't be looking.
I can't look anywhere but where his dick isn't. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Like, I feel like everything is like pointing right at it, and it's just like the shine is like, what else are you supposed to look at? He's too smooth and barrel shaped. And
Jason Derulo joked that like they had to airbrush out their dicks, and it's like, give me that cut. Why is everybody want don't release the butthole?
Give me the full dick cut.
Give me the dick cut. Come on. And to go back to Mistoffelees for just a moment, one thing that is so weirdly cool in this one is how Mistoffelees is like trying to succeed at doing this magic trick to bring old dude back.
Old dude.
And like every time he fails, everybody's like, "Oh!" And it's really fun at that moment to yell, "It happens to everyone," you know, like. So another call out. But,
another good one.
But when he finally does succeed, weirdly, like the way the movie succeeds at making it feel like the most important thing that's ever happened, like you can't not feel elated. Back. Yeah.
Well, because then the theater is singing along too, yes. And I love a good theater sing along.
The theater always sings at that song. That's the one. Even I had people singing in like the regular screening I saw. That was the song.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. Several of the ones that I went to at AMC, people were, yeah, no, that's right. I heard that Darren Criss was at the theater that I was at, but at the day before, and he was like conducting people to sing Mr. Mistoffelees. So it was like a thing at the AMC.
That's also so gay.
Right?
Can you imagine going to Cass and then seeing Darren Criss conducting? That sounds like a dream. Like I am I awake right now? Am I high?
No, I know. I was literally so mad that I saw it the night after. I'm like, oh my God, I should just go see it every night in case. Like,
what if he comes back to conduct?
What if he comes back? Or, yeah, we could do a whole production.
Darren Criss, next week's guest on this pod.
I know. Yeah, no, I should hit him up. No, I feel like there's like the queerness of this movie. Like what I wanted to talk to you. I think we've talked about this a little bit. Like what makes something queer, even if there's not like, obviously there's no gay kissing in this, but it's like something about this is very gay and queer. And yes. I think we've talked about like that, the experience of like seeing something being like, I want to see that 8 more times. I want to put it on. I want to wear it. I want to perform it. I want to be in it. I want to roll around in it. Like what?
I think this answer is like multifaceted because there's like, obviously, as I pointed out, there's like the James Corden thing. And I don't think that has anything to do with what makes this gay. That character, whether or not he's a gay cat, doesn't matter. It's like, right. I think that as a queer person, I am drawn to films about otherness. That's why I'm drawn to horror, because I'm used to myself being other. And this film has especially that theme of chosen family, which is so important to queer people who often don't have the same types of family support systems that straight people do and are so often on the street in the way that Victoria is at the beginning of this movie. I mean, literally the highest, I don't have to tell you this, but the highest rate of unhoused people is queer teens. And and it's just like, this is something that is, I think, coming together and embracing one another and being creative and having that be your superpower is like the queerest thing ever. Like that is what makes cats gay. That, and like we also as a people really like being like, oh, you don't want that? Cool, it's mine. Like straight people, you don't get this? Cool, cast it away. I'll take that and I'll wear it and I'll make it look
I don't
good.
care. Yeah, no, I will make it look amazing and like you're gonna regret.
We appreciate trash like hetero people cannot.
No, yeah, because it's like sometimes that's all you have, and it's like I will make the most of this 100%, and I will have so much fun, and I will make a whole thing out of this.
I think that even the way we enjoy trash is different, right? Like I feel like when straight, and I don't want to just blanket statement everybody, but I do think that hetero culture, right, is about ironic watching or hate watching. Where I think queer culture, we can ironically enjoy something, but we will also simultaneously love it. We can love it as is and accept it for what it is, because we don't see those things as mutually exclusive. You can enjoy something that maybe is tacky, right?
Yeah. 100%.
It doesn't have to be at the expense of the film.
100%. Also, I think the concept of everyone getting together and everyone doing a performance for the group is like
the gayest thing ever.
It's karaoke night for the cats.
Do you know the last birthday I had before the pandemic? It was a cats themed birthday, as you know, and we did a talent show. So everybody that attended the party had to do a different talent, and then we would shout "kill her," and the person with the most applause won.
Oh my God, that's amazing! I love that. And then you actually killed them.
And then we killed them. I have one last friend now.
Yeah. Sometimes they be okay. Who do you think is the worst cat? Because I think it's Munkustrap, whose
Ooh,
name is never mentioned.
that's the.
But okay, wait. Actually, I have two. Brittlebone is the gray cat
I
who's
knew you were gonna
so
say yes.
ugly, and Munkustrap has one of the worst CGI faces. Like, especially in one of the earliest shots of him where he's like coming toward.
Oh my
like,
god, yeah.
his face like slips off a little bit. I'm like, ah! And like that's also like that adds to the horror element to me for me as like.
I agree. There's a thing I like to do where it's like watch any face except for the cat that's talking.
Yes.
And
yes. No, I started doing that at some of the last ones that I saw.
That's how you see it. If you want to see what people are talking about when they say the computer animation is whatever and the CG is bad, like look at any
Just
cat.
look at the background.
Look at any cat who isn't who you're not supposed to look at. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And
sometimes their little shoes are slipping, or like their there's just Jenny Anydot's collar is like sliding right off. The tracking is so bad. I'm like,
I did not notice that until seeing it with you, and now I can't unsee it. I cannot unsee it. It's so distracting. It's like do you remember like I don't even know if they do this anymore. If it was Snap or Instagram, but where you would like put a sticker on somebody and it just stays on them. That's what it looks like. Just the lag of that collar.
Yeah, no, it's like that's like the like fastest version of tracking that you could do is like, oh, I'll just attach this to the dot and like it just go, but it's like it just lays there flatly and slides around.
It is so bad. I love it.
Yeah, but that type of stuff is not limited. Like people talk shit on this movie. They also do this kind of shit in Marvel movies.
This is not just this.
Ragnarok, my favorite Marvel movie, has some horrible CGI in it. There's one part where Thor has a thing on his neck, which I'm like, he's supposed to pull this thing off of his neck. It's supposed to be like a tracker or something. Like you could have easily just done that with, like, why didn't you glue a thing onto him? That would have been sweet. But they made it a CGI, and then it like clearly doesn't connect with his hand, and like slides as he's like supposed to be picking it off. And I'm like, okay. So even Marvel is
we should talk about the hands really quick.
Okay, yes, please.
Because you and I have both seen both versions of Cats.
Yeah.
Do you remember that the very first version released was like they still had work to do on the animation?
Yeah.
And so they pulled it from theaters and then re-released it. Supposedly that was the hands and like the ring, and there was like a scene or two where the hands were too human. But like, here's the thing. They're still really human.
There's so many times where it's just like fully human hand. Like, I don't see what they changed, honestly.
Yeah. It's like, was this it, or is that the rumor? Because like, I kind of feel like it was like, I remember the faces being worse in the first release. I remember some of the faces feeling like they were floating.
Yeah. No,
and
I can't remember,
now there's less of that. Like, when I did see it again, like when I found out they were re-releasing a better version, we all went that night so we could compare.
Oh yeah, nice.
And I didn't really see it with the hands. What I saw was, it was just the bad stuff looked a little less bad.
Yeah. I honestly can't remember. So another thing that people bring up is that some cats wear shoes and other cats don't wear shoes. But I will tell you, the cats who wear shoes are the Les Twins cats, who are the French dancer cats. And they are famous French dancing twins. And so that's why they wear sneakers. And I'm sure it was in their contract that, like, we're doing this shoes. In sneakers. Yeah, no, like, I don't care what you are doing. Like, we're wearing our shoes. Because,
see, I love that this is the controversy and not like, why is this cat wearing another cat's fur?
Like,
people are like, oh my God, they're wearing shoes. This is where I draw the line. It's like Old Duke comes out wearing another cat. Like, she is the head of this cult and she is fully
was that last year's cat?
Wearing somebody else.
Was that
What's that?
Was that last year's cat?
Last
year's Jellicle Choice?
What if that's it?
They just skipped
I love that. That's in the sequel. In the sequel, like, we will just low-key have her be wearing
all
the
of
last
the
cat.
cats.
And everybody's like, why does she get brown? And it's like, you know.
You know what she did. Okay, we haven't talked about Gus, the theater cat, Ian McKellen cat. I love Ian McKellen just as an actor. I love him as Gandalf, and one of my favorite well, I guess it's not my favorite because it's not good. There's one thing that Ian McKellen said about when he was in The Hobbit and he was staring at a tennis ball and he was like, this isn't why I got into acting, and he was like crying. And so I just like, when I watch this movie, I think about how upset he was filming The Hobbit.
That was just a dry run, baby.
Yeah, no, as compared to Lord of the Rings, which was like extreme practical effects, like amazing practical effects, and then The Hobbit where they did all this crazy green screen, it just like is terrible, and like you're looking at nothing as an actor. And then for him to be like, you know what I'm gonna do? Cats.
Yeah.
But he commits to being a cat, which I love when he's drinking out of the bowl before his performance. He's just like,
you can tell, like, I mean, honestly, he's the most convincing cat, in my opinion.
Agreed.
Like, I believe him. I don't see Ian McKellen, like, almost at all. I see Gus.
Yeah, I agree.
That's an old man cat who wants you to hear his 9-minute-long story about his past. And by the way, he's going to repeat himself.
Yep.
And you're all going to be... And they are eating it up.
Oh,
They're like, oh my God, please keep telling the story we already know. And then, like, Duke is, like, flirting with him. She's got, like, those cute eyes. She's like, yes, okay,
and then she puts her little
Gus.
leggy up at the end.
She sticks her leg up.
You don't
because she's
you don't
so
stick
into
the
it.
leggy out just for anybody.
The two people that old Duke has the most sexual chemistry with, Ian McKellen and Victoria.
Yes.
It's Gus and Victoria.
Yes. Oh, especially
her type
at the end. She wants flirting it up. They're like gonna kiss.
They are so close. Like it's shocking they don't kiss.
Yeah.
I think it would have made more sense if they just did.
Yeah.
Like her type, she either wants a granddaddy or she's mommy. You know what I mean?
I was getting like Carol vibes from it. Where like, yeah, old dude is the mommy,
I love
and then
that.
she has her, all her little babies.
I love that because it's also Christmas,
Yeah.
And like I love a Christmas lesbian.
Yeah, a Christmas lesbian.
It's beautiful. Oh my God. How about how all of the, like, because at the end there,
yes,
like all those wide shots are fucking art. It's crazy. Like, I know we're here. I know everybody at that point is just like, wow, this is insane. Like, I can't believe this cat is singing directly into the camera and she's going to do that twice. It's like, but every time they pull to a wide, it is like, it's like a painting. The way they've like arranged the cats.
On the lions and the light coming through. It's like, okay, was this the first thing that you did and you spent like 3 months only doing that? And then you're like, oh my God, we have the whole rest of the movie. I thought we were just doing this. You guys.
We got to catch up.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
We got some human feet to put over ballet point shoes, and so that she looks like she was never... Okay, if Lay Twins are going to wear shoes, just let her have... I wouldn't be mad if she was wearing point shoes. We know that's the only way that you can dance that way.
Yeah. That's
okay.
Also, okay, shout out to Judi Dench, because I was thinking about how, okay, this is my train of thought, but like cats on their tiptoes and the way that she dances. Yeah. And she's like, it's like, my cat could never, because she's so old and wobbly. She's 16 and can't stand up straight. And every time Judi Dench walks out like that, like, Judi Dench studied old cats. Like, she spent 16 hours on YouTube, like, old cat, and just watched the videos. She has nailed... That's it. Old cat YouTube. She's got it down. Judi Dench is an old cat.
Teetering and tottering. Oh yeah, no, she would. Did they did like cat practice? They have like cat school where they all like learn to be cats together, right?
I have not seen the video, but I know a video exists where they did.
Oh, there's a video of it. I've just heard in my research or like conversations that they had like a cat school.
Can you imagine what cat school was like?
I want to go to it.
I do too. Taylor Swift got an A in everything. She was the one. She showed up. Okay. Judi Dench was teaching it.
One of my other obsessions about this movie is like what everyone making it thought it was going to be as it was being made. So like the confidence that Taylor Swift comes out with, and like just her like sexual energy and like everything that she's putting out is like, this is going to be the movie, and this is gonna be her thing, and like this is her Les Mis, and then
yes,
for her to afterward like fire her whole team that like got her involved with cats, and she was like,
oh, she did.
I also just heard that, so I should look up for sure if that's what happened or if that was a rumor, but
Taylor Swift is a show-stopping number. I gotta say, like, when they bring her out, what good casting. Because Taylor is so committed. She's also the bustiest cat.
No, she's the hottest cat. And they purposely make her the hottest cat. Like, nobody else has. Francesca's pretty cute, too. But she doesn't have, like, the Taylor Swift boobie and the eyeliner going.
I think, like, it's interesting that when she shows up, she is the star of the show there, because like I never imagined it being that way, and the way that they do it, it's like, you know, McCavity can hang back for a little longer. Can we get a little more Taylor?
I know,
because I want to see her sneaking around too.
I know, right? No, because she's supposed to be like, this like super, like she's doing all kinds of other crimes, and so it's like I want to see what she's been up to.
Here's the thing. I bet Taylor Swift isn't even like the assistant cat. She's just messy. She called him up. She's like, "What are you doing tonight? Are you going to that thing?" And he's like, "Yeah." And she's like, "All right, I'm going to meet you there and bring the catnip." She has nothing to do with him earlier. He's making everybody disappear. And you know, she's just at home on her Switch. She's like doing Animal Crossing. Do you know what I mean? She just shows up when things are going to go down. And I like that about her.
She shows up to be messy. I love that. Oh my God.
That's it.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because she's out of there so fast. Once things start getting like in line, she's just whatever.
Yeah, no, she's not there at the end. Like,
no, just McCavity hanging onto that fucking skyscraper, right? Like, it's like he's the one that goes down with the ship. She's got to get back to her island.
Yeah. No, I feel bad for Taylor Swift that she was so like embarrassed, but I wish there was a way to like tell. After I saw this movie, I went on Twitter and I found everyone in the cast and crew that I could find and be like, I just wanted to tell you that you did a really good job on this movie and I loved it, and I've seen it always, because like everyone that I could find, I like went through the whole crew because I was like, I know that people are being so horrible and I just want them to know that like I'm really enjoying this, and I had to go out of my way, dude. But I can't reach Taylor Swift. But,
well, let's try.
Let's try.
You know what?
Get her on
I'll
the
hit her
pod.
up after. Listen, she's somewhere.
Yeah.
Right? Like everybody
her.
knows somebody.
Exactly.
I think that I want to know your thoughts on this before I reveal mine, but I think you probably know them. What are your thoughts on Beautiful Ghost? The Taylor Swift written song for the movie, the new song.
I have two minds about it. On one hand, I'm like, how dare you interrupt Grisabella and like steal her thunder and like steal her moment? It's like, this is great. This was never about you.
Right.
What are you doing? Get out. But on the other hand, I love it because I love trash, and there's something about how repetitive it is, and like how the like force. I love forced rhymes, and just like the more forced the rhyme, the more I'm just like obsessed with like the how it like grinds against each other.
I love it. I gotta say, it was something that used to really bother me, and now I look forward to it every watch. It's like, because the song itself, I think, is so good. I think Beautiful Ghost is like so well written, and I love listening to Taylor swing it. She does come down from a swing. I love that, like, after the credits, you get to hear her version, and it's like, I don't know, it's a great song. In the context of the movie, though, I mean, really what's happening is like a cat hears the most like disenfranchised cat, and it's like, you know what, though? At least you have memories. It's like, what?
Whoa. It's like, whoa, man.
Yeah.
No, like you did not need to upstage her in that way.
I hate, it's like toxic positivity. Like, do you know what I mean? Like people are like, you're like, oh, you're trying to tell people like what's going on. And it's like, hey, it's better to have loved and lost than to have loved it all. It's like, I don't know. This still sucks.
Yeah, it's like, shut the
like, at least you have
Francesca, you're like
food on your
You're
plate.
A baby. First of all, you came out of a bag 3 seconds ago. Like, I'm sorry that was traumatic, but like,
yes,
Grisabella has fucking lived, and she is sex worker cat, and like all the other cats.
Right.
Okay, at the beginning, when the other cats are being mean to Grisabella, they're like, Grisabella, are they doing a specific thing to make fun of her? Or am I reading into that?
I always, when I watch it, I'm always like, is this like offensive?
Exactly. I'm like,
because like it's
kind
like
of crossing her eyes and like wobbling around. I'm
it
like, is she?
It feels like an ableist joke, and I'm like, I don't know what Grisabella went through that they know, but this looks horrific.
Yeah.
Like whatever
like,
they're
did
doing
she, like,
is
have
not
a
innocent.
stroke or something. And
that's what I was wondering. I'm like, is it like MS?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like whatever it is, it feels like they're being very unkind about something that Grisabella can't change. And fuck those cats. Like earlier you asked like which cats I hate the most.
Mm-hmm.
It's them, which includes the one with the crazy face. And I know you meant like which one looks that bad, but like every
Brittlebone
time,
is the ugly one.
Yes.
Sorry.
And she's
Brittlebone.
always there with the mean girls.
Yeah.
Those mean girls, it has me second guessing how I feel about all the other cats because they all kind of like let it happen.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, these mean girls suck, but like they're all just like, yeah, like even Mistoffelees, it's like, dude, don't be such a man right now. In terms, and by man I mean like, you know, just letting things happen and not speaking up.
Mm-hmm. No,
like,
he's like
women.
He's too wimpy at that point. He's like too insecure and like
he hasn't had his art.
No, yeah, exactly. No, he's not ready yet.
The only thing that kills me is that there's no justice for those mean girls. Like ultimately, right?
Mm-hmm.
She wins the cat competition to die in the sky, and it's like nothing happens to the like they don't have to like change their minds.
Right.
They don't have to like nobody tells them off.
Right.
I don't know. Drop them off a building.
They should
OD
be
on
up there
Catnip.
with
I don't know.
cavity on top of it, and like at least like experience some, you know, discomfort of having to get down from a tall building.
Like, dude, you don't have any feelings about this? Somebody call Dude.
Somebody call Dude. Yeah.
I don't know. Somebody get these cats. Listen, I mean, that to me is like as upsetting as the ratio of how big the stools are in the milk bar versus how big the cats are. Like, it's a bar that's clearly too small for humans, but too big for cats.
This is a milk bar.
Who is this for?
People are not drinking milk unless you're in Clockwork Orange.
Maybe it's Salt Lake City where nobody drinks.
The only other time I've heard of a milk bar is in Clockwork Orange, and that milk is coming out of a titty, and there's all kinds of other weird shit going on in that movie. So,
yeah, definitely.
There's no explanation.
Yeah, no, I want more. But that is one of the fun things. Is like the size of everything. There's
scale.
Just no consistency.
Yeah. I love it. I know that it bothers some
obsessed.
people, but I love how they just like, let's just not make a choice about this. Let's just.
I remember like when I finally figured out that Rebel Wilson, the thing she's singing into, isn't like a tail. It's supposed to be yarn.
Okay,
but
yarn.
it doesn't look like yarn.
Looks like a wiener or
it looks like
like a weird.
That's a fleshy part.
Wiener, and it's like, where did she
really
even get
wiener.
it? Okay, so it's.
Well, she might have unzipped it. We don't know. We don't know what she's got. It's
unclear. Yeah, no, it's like she could be doing anything, and I would be like,
yep. You know, and the nice thing about her is like because she could be doing anything, like we can imagine any world for her underneath that zipper.
She could.
I would like to imagine a world with better jokes.
Yeah, truly. I know. It's like you're a famous comedian. Like, come on. What's
I feel like I don't know if she improv those jokes and they were like, we got to keep them, but like I do feel like if she did improv them, like she phoned it.
They're so bad. Yeah. No, they're so it's painful.
Because her improv in How to Be Single is like next lever expert.
I've never seen that. I love her in Pitch Perfect. I mean, that's what I have seen her in. But
How to Be Single is my favorite rom-com of all time.
Okay, I need to see this.
So yeah, we'll watch it together.
Great.
That'll be your next podcast.
Great.
I'll watch that every week.
Okay, great. Was there what did we not touch on anything else that you wanted to discuss?
You know, as far as callbacks go, I think it's really fun to like anticipate things. Like, and that's something fun about doing Rocky Horror. And so like having the foresight to know what's coming is fun. Like when old Dude looks back into the camera the second time, like shouting one more time right before, it always gets the audience going who hasn't seen it. Cause it's just like, I love shit like that.
Because it's you know it so well that it's like, I know what's coming. And like, I'm going to make this moment even more special for all of you who haven't seen this. Cause I love that.
This is a more general note, but it's just what makes a comfort watch.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking about this with my boyfriend the other day, which is like when I feel like I know a film so intimately, I know what frame to expect, I know what sound to make, I know that I'm quoting along or I'm singing along or whatever. It's like when I leave that experience, it's like I feel like I've just been understood.
Yes.
I can't explain it any other. It's like it's an experience I don't get from anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that makes Cats so special, at least to me. And being a kid who grew up, like, Cats was the first cassette tape I ever bought. It was a double-decker cassette tape. I bought it at a bookstore with like a gift card and like some other books that I returned because, like, listen, I was poor, and that's how you do it when you're poor. I immediately a thief, 8 years old.
Whoops.
And so, yeah, but it was like life-changing because I was like, wow, this is what grown-ups listen to. Like, but not.
Yes.
This is not what grown-ups listen to.
But
But I thought I was like so cool and adult for doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I used to listen to it so much that it became a part of, like, I think that was one of my first experiences of like having something become a part of the fabric of my being just from loving it so much. And that's what the movies become for me. This like fully immersive experience that I get to invite others into and enjoy together.
Same.
And give them a
this
taste.
movie to people, and like whether they love it or hate it, I just love seeing their reactions and enjoying the spectacle of it.
I think it's worth bringing up, and as far as favorite cats go, Rum Tum Tugger, he is such a rock star in that scene, and I am so into the fact that like people are just throwing themselves at him.
Yes.
And like that's just it. That's his whole story.
Yeah.
It's like I don't even know if he's competing. He might just be singing.
He might just be there to like pick up chicks.
To be adored.
He's
yeah.
Like, I know everyone's gonna be here tonight, so I'm just gonna come through and see who shakes out.
Actually, you know who called him? Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
she was like, hey, are you going to that thing tonight?
He's like, oh shit.
And he's like, I don't know. And she's like, everybody's gonna be there because she's messy.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
She wants him to meet Victoria.
No, she wants to stir up trouble.
She is. She's trouble.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. So can I pitch you on my sequel that I want?
Yes.
Okay, so Universal, I know you listen to this podcast every week. I know you're out there going, God, this is my shit. Listen up. Here's the sequel. So we follow her again. I keep saying Victoria. Is it Victoria or Francesca?
Victoria is the cat's name. Francesca is the actor.
Great.
I keep using
okay. So we're following Victoria, right? Because she's actually realizing like a little bit of time has passed and she's realized she has actually entered into a cult.
Mm-hmm.
And so she and Mistoffelees she has to kind of talk him into like waking up from all this. And before the next ceremony, and so as it gets closer, she can't like kind of spring her boyfriend, but she loves him so much she doesn't want to leave him. So she employs the help of Taylor Swift Cat to like come in, fuck shit up because she's messy. She's got the powers. She's gonna come in there and they're gonna spring him out. But here's the thing: she stabs them in the back because actually she just wants to kill old dude and take over the cult herself.
No. Oh,
wouldn't that be fun?
God, yes. No, this has like shades of like Nexium call and like yes.
Oh yeah. So I mean, of course, it'll never happen. But I don't want to say that because you never know.
You never know.
Cut that out.
Cut
could happen.
Cut that. Yeah, exactly.
I would love if I could like people always ask at like panels and stuff. Like I just did Comic-Con and one of the questions was going to be like if you could direct any remake or sequel, what would it be? Cats 2.
Yes.
Give me fucking Cats 2 and let me do what I want with it.
Yes.
Let me make it the Return to Oz of Cats movies.
I was going to say the Gremlins 2 of Cat movies because like Gremlins 2 is so many years after the original and like you have to be able to do whatever you want and like
take that big swing. Like we don't want more. I don't want more cats. I want Cats 2.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, that the cult busting like heist. I'm here for it.
And Grease 2 is like, by the way, 20-year anniversary. Or 30 year.
Mm-hmm.
No, 40. Oh my God, 82 was 40 years ago. Okay. Anyways, so Grease 2 is celebrating its anniversary and it's now getting some screenings at Alamo Drafthouse. Speaking of them, and it's like this movie, which totally bombed in its time, has become such a beloved classic. And I prefer Grease 2 to Grease 1. And I do think that people will prefer Cats 2 to Cats 1. So Universal, hit me up. You got the digits. Here whenever you're ready.
I think you could make it a hit, honestly. Like they would be making a mistake not to go for this.
I'll need to cast Olivia Rodrigo in something.
Yeah.
But, once I have her, good to go.
You got anybody. Okay, well, I think that's my last thing that I say for during the movie is at the end, right before the credits. I'm like, no notes.
No
notes.
notes. I love that. That's a fun callback.
Like,
friend,
perfect.
What I had such a good time watching this with you recently because it's like I think we've both evolved in our own things that we say. So sitting next to you and hearing somebody's completely like your own set was so fun. And who knows, like years to come, what's going to stick and what people do. But now we have this historical document, this podcast to say these things started here.
Exactly. No, I want to be the Cats documentarian, like the one who keeps the tradition going, like the historian, the custodian of all things Cats 2019. Like, I will protect it with my life. And Universal, if we need to raise money, whatever we gotta do,
whatever we gotta do, we'll
make it happen. Like, we have made way more insane things happen. Like, we can make Cats 2. We can recoup your budget, whatever you need.
Yeah,
we just need more cats.
I'll make it happen. More cats.
Okay, this is my first episode of my first podcast I ever made, so we'll see how this goes. But do you want to? Usually, people are like, "Hey, do you want to promote anything at the end?"
I just want to promote Cats.
Yes.
So if you have not seen Cats, they're listening. Watch Cats. Promote my new movie Cats 2.
Yes.
That will be coming out in the future.
Exactly. Yes.
And if you like queer horror, you can go find The Quiet Room, which is a queer horror film that I made, and it's a monster movie, and it's on Crypt TV.
Yay! Oh yes, it's back on Crypt. I'm so excited that
it's back.
Yes.
Hattie's back, baby.
Yes, I love Hattie. And your Twitter is Sam Wineman?
At Sam Wineman. Okay, cool. Yep. On Twitter and Instagram.
Amazing. And I'm omgchomp on everything. And this was the first episode of PodCats 2019.
Wow. I cannot wait for this series. I'm on the edge of my seat, friend.
I need to have a challenge, and I want to challenge myself to watch this movie every week with a new person, and because I really love this movie, I love cats, and I just feel like talking about it every week is gonna make me happy. So I'm gonna try it and see how it goes. It'll be a living document of my sanity.
Well, thank you for making my new favorite podcast.
Thank you for being my first guest, Sam. You're the first person I thought of. We've talked about this for so long now because I've just been wanting to make this. So thank you for finally, being here.
Mwah.